In a small village on the edge of a vast forest, there lived a poor woodcutter. Every day, he ventured into the forest to gather wood. He would bring back the wood and sell it to a merchant in the village. The merchant was greedy and always paid him less than he deserved, but it was enough to buy a modest meal for his family. Despite his poverty, the woodcutter was content. He took joy in his simple life and he found peace in his daily routine. One morning, as he was collecting branches deep in the forest, he noticed something unusual. A small bird was lying helpless in the grass, its feathers ruffled and its wings limp. Startled by his approach, the bird tried to fly but could only manage a few weak flaps before falling back to the ground. The woodcutter's heart softened. Gently, he knelt beside it, careful not to frighten it further. He found a large leaf nearby and poured water onto it from his bottle. Then he tore a piece of bread from his lunch and left it beside the bird before quietly walking away. The next day and the day after, the woodcutter continued to bring water and food to the same spot in the forest. Each time, he placed them gently on the ground, hoping that the bird would grow stronger. And then one evening, as he was setting down his offering, he felt a gentle flutter nearby. To his surprise, the bird had returned, landing on a rock just a few steps away. But what happened next turned him even more. In a soft, clear voice, the bird spoke. "You are a kind and generous soul. Although you are poor, you have given freely." The woodcutter, recovering from his shock, managed to reply, "I am not rich, and I know what it is to struggle. I could not leave you in pain." The bird nodded, as if understanding the depth of his kindness. "For your selflessness, I wish to share something with you. Deep in the forest, at the top of a hill, there is an ancient temple with a magical statue of a lion. At sunset, for only 5 minutes, the light of the setting sun falls upon the lion, and in that moment, the lion opens its mouth. Inside, you will find as much gold as you need, but remember, it opens only for 5 minutes." With that, the bird spreads its wing, soaring high above the trees, leaving the woodcutter in awe of what he had just witnessed. The next evening, with the bird's instructions in his mind, he climbed up the forest hill, winding through the trees until he reached a small ancient temple. Inside, he saw the lion statue just as the bird had described. He sat patiently, watching the sky as the sun dipped lower, casting golden rays across the temple. And then, at the very moment as the sunlight touched the lion, its mouth opened, revealing a gleaming pile of gold within. He was exhilarated, but he remembered the bird's words. He reached into the lion's mouth, carefully taking only a handful of coins, just enough to make his family's life a little easier. As the sunlight faded, the lion's mouth closed. Bowing gratefully, the woodcutter whispered, "This is all I need, thank you." He then returned home. With the small amount of gold he took, his family's life improved modestly. They had enough food, warm clothes, and a little comfort they had never known before. The changes didn't go unnoticed, and soon whispers spread throughout the village about the poor woodcutter's newfound fortune. One day, the merchant who had been buying his wood noticed his old clothes were replaced with slightly finer ones, and he looked healthier. Curiosity and greed gnawed at him, and he cornered the woodcutter after a delivery. "You have had some good fortune lately," he remarked cunningly. "How did you come by such wealth?" Then, in a sad tone, he continued, "My mother is ill, and I need the money. Can you share your secret with me?" The woodcutter, innocent and trusting, told the merchant about the bird, the magical lion, and the temple on the hill. He explained that each evening the sun's light allowed the lion's mouth to open for only 5 minutes, and that was when he had gathered a handful of gold. The merchant's eyes lit up with greed as he imagined the riches waiting for him. That very evening, he set out for the temple, carrying an enormous sack. He scrambled up the hill and found the temple as the woodcutter had described, his heart racing with anticipation. When the sun began to sink, casting its golden rays upon the lion statue, the merchant watched with greedy excitement as the lion's mouth opened. With no other thought but his own greed, he thrust his hands into the pile of gold, shoveling handful after handful into his large bag. His heart beat faster with each coin, but as he continued to fill his sack, he noticed the sun slipping lower in the sky and the light fading. Just one more handful, he whispered to himself, unable to stop. Greed overpowered his sense and he plunged his hand back into the lion's mouth for one last scoop. But at that very moment, the sun disappeared behind the trees, and with a loud chomp, the lion's mouth snapped shut, crushing his hand inside. In life, if you are not content with what you have, no matter how much life gives you, it will never be enough. It's crucial to learn that wealth alone is not happiness. Happiness and freedom comes when you are satisfied with what you have. No matter how rich you are, when you die, you will leave all of it behind. With a greedy mindset, you will always end up being poor. But if you are generous and kind, no matter how bad a crisis you face, you will always find help from the universe. If this video helped you, subscribe to our channel and share your story in our comments section. Your comments will help people realize that they are not alone in their problems. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Press the bell icon for regular updates. Have a great day and a great life.